Then, 3 days ago, everything came crashing down again. Mark received a text from an unknown number. It was a picture of blood work results. "She's pregnant," he whispered, showing me the screen. My heart sank. After a long, tearful discussion, we agreed that I would be the one to meet her. Mark wanted to block her and pretend it wasn't real, but I knew we couldn't avoid it. We met at a small cafe downtown. She was already there when I arrived, sitting nervously at a corner table. She looked young, too young to be caught in this mess. Her name was Rachel. "I'm sorry for all of this," she said, her voice trembling. "I didn't mean for any of it to happen." I studied her, trying to see her as more than just the woman who had slept with my husband. She seemed lost, scared. "What do you want?" I asked, cutting to the chase. "I need help. I don't know what to do. If my boyfriend finds out, he'll leave me. My parents will disown me. I can't do this alone." She took a deep breath. "I need you to leave him. You can take a settlement, start fresh. I can't raise this baby by myself." I laughed. I couldn't help it. After everything, this was her solution. Her eyes welled with tears. "Please, I'm begging you." "No," I said firmly. "I won't leave him. If you want to have this baby, we'll figure out support and custody, but I'm not walking away from my family." Rachel broke down, sobbing in the middle of the cafe. I walked away, leaving her there. "We're waiting for the results of the paternity test now." Mark blocked her number and directed all communication through me. I didn't ask him to do that, but he's trying to show me he's committed to making things right. Every day feels like a lifetime. My mind races with what-ifs. What if it is his child? What if this woman becomes a permanent part of our lives? My kids know something is wrong, but I can't bring myself to tell them. Not yet. It started 2 months ago, on a night that I wish I could erase from memory. My husband, Mark, was dropped off at our front door by a colleague, barely able to stand. His shirt was wrinkled, his tie loosened, and his eyes red and glassy. He stumbled inside, muttering incoherent words, and collapsed onto the floor. I tried to get him to the couch, but he was dead weight. I sat on the floor next to him, brushing his hair out of his face, wondering what had gotten him into such a state. Mark wasn't a heavy drinker. He was always composed, responsible. This version of him was a stranger. The next morning, as the sun streamed through the windows, he woke up groaning. I made coffee and sat across from him at the kitchen table. His face was pale, his hands trembling as he held the mug. That's when he told me. "I messed up," he whispered, his voice cracking. "I messed up bad." "What do you mean?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. He couldn't meet my eyes. "At the company event. I don't even remember everything, but I slept with someone. I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. My hands clenched into fists, nails digging into my palms. "Who?" "A woman in our industry. We don't work together directly. It was a one-night thing, a mistake." I wanted to scream, to throw the coffee mug at the wall, but I stayed still, my body trembling. "And you're just now telling me?" I couldn't hide it anymore. I hate myself for it. I swear it didn't mean anything. I was drunk. It's all a blur. I don't even remember how it happened. But that wasn't enough. Not for me. For the next few weeks, we barely spoke. Our house, once filled with laughter from our 2 kids, became eerily quiet. Mark slept in the guest room. I cried myself to sleep every night, replaying his confession in my head. We went to therapy. The sessions were painful, raw. I screamed at him, cried in front of the therapist, and questioned everything about our marriage. We had been together since we were teenagers. I had never known life without him. "Why didn't you leave him?" friends asked. Because I couldn't. Because deep down, despite the betrayal, I still loved him. A week later, the results came in. I sat next to Mark as we opened the envelope together. My hands shook as I read the words. 99.9% probability. The child was his. Mark broke down in tears. I sat there numb. "We'll figure it out," I said quietly. "One step at a time. We're working through it." Rachel decided to keep the baby, and we're navigating the legal side of things, child support, visitation, everything. It's not easy. There are days when I hate Mark, when I question my decision to stay. But there are also moments when I see the man I fell in love with, the man who's trying to make amends. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that life is messy, complicated, and rarely black and white. This is my story. It's not perfect, but it's mine.